Everyone, welcome to Spirit Guide Chat. My name is Jake. Welcome or welcome back. I appreciate all the views that I get, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. As long as they're not personal questions, anything about current events, I'm happy to address those in future weekly reading videos. Um, as of today's video, this is April 2nd. I am filming and published. I try to do that every Thursday. And Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, has been fired from several sources. And this is something I predicted about 2 months ago. I had to look back. In February, I did cover this, that she would get fired. And even what's jumped out, the Eight of Cups. So she is walking away, or she has walked away. I did not add this question, but I'm going to add this question because I am going to ask about Kash Patel. That's what I already had down for today because I felt like he was going to be the next one. Since last week, if you are not aware, or as a reminder that Iranian hackers have had hacked into his personal email account and published these pictures and personal emails and yada yada. So apparently, from sources that this is all, by the way, entertainment purposes only. Trump was not happy. So let's see if he's on the next one, because it's not just that, but also his spending, kind of like in the gnome category, which let's not go there with the gnome's husband. It's just the hypocrisy. It's just things that us in general as a collective know. And even the Magites, they know about this hypocrisy, but they're so brainwashed that they will overlook this. But I guarantee you, the general public totally understands this. Okay. Gosh, what it was. Okay. uh, what I'm writing down is that the person that, and we'll check on that to see if the sources have stated that the top pick for the next AG is Lee Zeldin, who is the EPA administrator. So we'll take a look at him and go from there. But first things first, I do want to check in with about Iran. And I know that last week I mentioned that he is going to use ground troops. He sent in more troops since that video, and I want to see again if he is, if one, and we'll start out with that question, if the war will end by the end of this month, because he said between 2 and 3 weeks. That's usually his timeline in to begin with. So let's just take a look if at least on our end, that the fighting will end by the end of this month in Iran. That doesn't mean that there won't be like one-off things, and I know Spirit understands that. I'm just talking about the major part of this will end, and then we'll go down from there. There's the card that jumped out. Yeah, there's going to be disappointment, Five of Cups. And I think that's from us. And I said that before, that because it's just not going to be good for us. Even though we'll look at the cards that it'll spun as that it was. Yeah, so this is us being foolish, with the Fool card starting this out. What is it being crossed by? The conflicts with the Five of Wands. And when it's crossing this, it's meaning that we're wanting to avoid this. Trump is notorious of, say, acting tough, but then he's tackling out. And he's like, we can't do this. And not only that, it's just also the financial aspect. A lot of the oligarchs in our country are saying, you know what, we can't do this any longer. The prices are just good. Again, there's the burden right there with the Ten of Wands, the foundation. Figuring out the timeline with this in the recent past with the Two of Pentacles, and then the Empress cards above this. I know usually that's the Russia card, but in this instance, I think we're talking about the financial part, about having abundance. We're losing that by staying here too long. They're going to be claiming it's a victory with the Four of Wands. That's not a shocker. That's not a surprise. He already kind of said that in his address last night. This is definitely a two swords, a difficult crossroads in this. From the outside view, this shows that we're making we're showing our strength, our power. Um, But here's the truth and the hopes and fears with the King of Swords. And what's the outcome? There's going to be, yeah, it's going to end. And we're going to move out very quickly. As we came in, we're going to move out quickly. Yeah. There's going to be, it's total deception with the Seven of Swords coming in, explaining further. So, yes, to answer that question, we are by the end of April, the this will be over with for the most part. Again, not saying that there won't be any attack from the Houthi or somebody else in the players in there that we may have to fight here one-offs. Okay, so there is a feeling that again that he is going to use ground troops, maybe as a last hurrah kind of thing, and claim on Cole. I'm going blank at the name. The island there. Excuse me, the island. So let's see if Trump will use the ground troops for like the last hurrah here. Will Trump use ground troops before officially leaving? So here's the Sun card starting out. He wants success. He wants this victory. The Five of Cups is crossing this. They're just moving on from this. He just wants to move on and just claim this victory. Again, you saw me mix up the card. We have the Chariot, and this. He wants to move out quickly about doing this, making the difficult decisions here, balancing these with the Two Pentacles. We have Two Swords, Two Pentacles here. He wants to show the confidence of the Queen of Wands here. Um, Keeping his cards close with the Four of Pentacles. There's going to be a lot of heartbreak about this from the outside because using troops. He's hoping for the Wheel of Fortune, the good luck. And yes, he's waiting for the right moment um, to do so. And it's going to be done quickly with the Knight of Swords. Probably, and with the Knight of Swords too, it's a little bit sloppy. So don't be surprised with the heartache and stuff like that because I've said this before in previous readings. I think there will be, unfortunately, and I hope I am wrong on this, that there will be casualties on our side, more than probably what was anticipated using ground troops. But he wants to make a show of it. That's who he is. The orange one who wants to make a show and not think about the consequences because it doesn't. He's not affected by the consequences. So the last thing I want to do before moving on to other things, because there's other things I want to talk about, not that this is not important, is to see if I'm very sure that he is not going to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. I think that the allies will have to end up doing it, even though they say no, but there's just such a struggle with getting oil to other countries. I feel that he's going to make the allies end up fighting for themselves, even though they didn't even weren't participating. So will the allies have to be left to deal with trying to reopen the Strait of Hormuz for themselves? Because he basically that's his way to getting back at the allies who wouldn't help because he's already said that we make enough oil, so therefore we don't have to depend on it. So I think this is Six of Cups is what the allies feel. They wish that things were back to how they used to be with us. Um, the moon it's crossing by the moon card. They're there's so much insecurities right now because they relied on, and it's not, I'm not trying to be US centric, but we were a big we I mean we are still a big player in the grand scheme of the world, and it's throwing things in chaos, and there are just a lot of insecurities right now. Definitely this is a new beginning about the world order, about how allies are going to move forward, essentially without us at the moment. There's going to be action taking place to, in the recent past, they've already been working on things in the background, a lot of soul searching about how to do it, but this will end up being a good thing for our allies in the long run because they're going to be more diplomatic. I think they're going to start making, if they haven't already, start having talks with Iran about making sure that they have the security of the wealth, meaning mainly oil and goods coming out, that they're hoping for this blissful outcome with the Ten of Cups. And this is a yes card. They are making plans to do so once this conflict is over, and there will be a partnership made with the Two of Cups to get this reopened again. The main thing, though, with a lot of these allies is that they did not provide any support to Trump. So they have that card in their back pocket, and uh, have that for their negotiations. All right. So that's yes. All right. The next thing I want to take a look at is, it's kind of amusing. I've been enjoying seeing TMZ, usually focusing on celebrities and whatnot, following the politicians around like paparazzis, catching them doing hypocritical things on both parties, which is important. I think that's important to show that there are things done. There are politicians from both sides that do things that are not in the good of the voters, and especially during midterms is about to happen in a few months. Now we're in April, so what's that, 7 months? Less than 7 months now? Um, no, it's about 7 months because the first Tuesday is coming up. Uh, it's important for us Americans and voters to see that and get rid of people that are not working for the people. So let's take a look at the motivation for these paparazzi. If I'm making up that word, the politicians. Let's see what the motivation is with TMZ. Now, TMZ is owned by Fox Corporation, uh, so they are. It's not really clear. Like Harvey Levin, who runs it, tends to be leaning a little more conservative. He's not a MAGA guy, but he is um, conservative. I know he supported Trump the first term. However, he is not, as far as I know, he's just a Republican, I believe. All right. Anyways, off tangent. Let's look spirit. What is TMZ motivation in this paparazzi politicians here? Okay, so this is a karmatic thing. They're wanting to a taste of their own medicine with with the Wheel of Fortune starting out. Whoops, Magician card is being crossed here. Definitely manipulating how things are being run. I mean, definitely when the cameras in this way. Politicians aren't used to that. They're not celebrities in the sense most of them are not known. You know, we don't. We only know. Most Americans know only a handful of the major players, in Washington. They're really with the Queen of Wands. They want to say, "Hey, this is what's going on." With the foundation of it, they have in the past. We're thinking about with the Seven of Cups how to do this, how to go about and doing this, and apply what they do with celebrities to politicians. Um, and what I feel like this is mainly the politicians is another thing, the Nine of Swords, to worry about, because now they're being this is another way to expose the hypocrisy. I think for some people with the Queen of Cups coming up, that this is going to change their tunes on how they behave in public. That they do not have as much privacy as they used to. And some of these people, they're going to lose out. People are going to take note of what TMZ is doing with the Five of Pentacles. I think there's going to be more challenges coming up in the future, not just this midterms. I think even in the next election and so forth, more people are going to come in and say, you know what, I'm going to challenge the current, the incumbent, and whether it's from their party or another party. So the High Priestess is the hope is uncovering that hidden agenda, and also what's crowning this, or not crowning this. What the outcome card is the Ace of Pentacles, meaning it TMZ the business. They want to make money, clicks and things like that, sharing stories. They know people how they are, their mindset is to show this hypocrisy. So this is the main thing. It is a money thing, but there is a political thing too, because they are tired of this hypocrisy that's going on. All right. Speaking about Washington, let's go and see. As I stated at the beginning of the video, I stated that I wrote down Cash from Tell and do another check if he's the next person to get fired. Excuse me. Um, so Cash Patel, the FBI director, to see if he's the next one to be let go. And it sounds like he's on a spree. No, no, no. Bondi, and let's see if Patel's next. So we again, Six of Cups popping up. Uh, Trump's a little nostalgic of how things used to be, like one big happy family. Like what happened? What happened? We all know what happened. It's you. The Knight of Wands is crossing this, so he's very angry. He's very angry because things are not hunky dory, going on and and his poll numbers are tanking, and he doesn't understand. Like, this is what I'm feeling from him. Like, there's the anger and misunderstanding. I'm like, what's going on? I'm the greatest guy. He truly does believe that, everyone. So he wants someone that's going to work with him well, with the Two of uh, Cups here. In the past, we have the Queen of Swords, and this is the boundaries that I think Cash Patel crossed by misusing government vehicles, government funds, uh, taking vacations on government time. So that's again, the Empress cards up above. I think there's just, I think in a way, I think Russia has helped Iran with this too, with in regards to the hacking. Uh, I think he's restless. He wants somebody else in this with the Page of Swords coming up. Sudden change, Tower moment. So I think it's going to come up pretty soon. Uh, and people are going to see this as a victory to get him out of there with the Four of Wands. This hope to have some kind of rising star to be in it. And yes, this is the Three of Cups coming in. I think there's two other actors that are coordinating with Trump, and I think this is another person. I think they're probably telling him right now it's probably the best time to, if you want to clean house in certain areas, let's do this. Let's do this while there's so much other stuff like the war going on and stuff like that to clear the house. So that's a big yes. And then it's not really a follow up question. The next question that I have when we're talking about new people coming in or new uh, is we're going to check on Lee Zeldin. I say that in quotes because he's not really new because he is in the cabinet. Uh, he's the EPA administrator. So let's take a look at Lee Zeldin. If he's going to be the next um, person, the attorney general to be nominated, will he be nominated for attorney general? Will Lee Zeldin be nominated for attorney general? Um, they're on recess right now, so if he does, I think I'm correct in what I'm saying. Don't hold me to it. I think he can do a recess appointment because they are not in session. So that's probably a reason why I'm feeling that if he wants to clear house, do it now because he can do recess appointments, and I think they can be um, the individuals he wants. They can be in that acting capacity for the next 90 days. Is it 90 days? I think 90. 60 or 90 days. So let's take a look at Lee Zeldin will be nominated as the next Attorney General. I feel like this is Lee Zeldin. He views people view him as a supportive person. I think he's a little more emotionally balanced, and I hate to say that because I'm not saying that Ham Bonnie is emotionally imbalanced, but in some ways, with the lack of compassion and stuff like that, I think her communication skills are lacking, and Lee Zeldin is not that way. He wants someone supportive, but also a good communicator. Ron's crossing this. Excuse me. I think there's going to be delays in regards to getting him confirmed. It does. I don't know necessarily. I'm not feeling it's necessary because of him. I just think there's with the funding, DHS funding, stuff like that. Um, but people do recognize him, especially in the party, as someone that is self confident, that can do the job with the Six of Wands. In the recent past, he was for his loyalty, he was given that position with the Ace of Pentacles with the EPA. These are very good signs for him that he is going to be the one with the Star card crown in the reading. Again, the whole what I was saying, this has been saying coming up, the Six of Cups, each time when I'm talking about replacing people and things like that, Trump is wanting things to go back how things were before. This is definitely leaving back. He wants to leave the troubled waters with the Six of Swords. In reality, we all know this is not going to happen, but that's what he wants. He feels like people from the outside of us will see this as a new beginning with Bondi out of there. We're having with the hopes and fears, the Sun card. Um, but with the Eight of Cups, there's a walking away and there's a delay, and that people will find this successful. This is interesting because he's getting very positive cards, and we're coming towards the end. There's some kind of withdrawal or disappointment. So I'm wondering if something comes up under Lee Zeldin. I think he is going to get nominated. Very much so. I think he's going to be nominated. I think he's going to be nominated. I think there might be something coming up. Whether it's I'm wondering if it's the Democrats are holding up his nomination due to DHS funding or the shutdown or something like that. I'm wondering if that's what the case is, and maybe Lee Zeldin withdraws or the Trump administration withdraws his nomination. So we shall see. Hold on one second. Unfortunately, my work is messaging me. So one moment. And I am back. uh, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and before we move on to other questions, It's the Supreme Court hearing right now about the 14th Amendment. That's about birthright citizenship. Let's see if the Supreme Court keep will side with keeping the current what our the birthright citizenship says and vote against Donald Trump. Hopefully that's clear. So, Spirit, will the Supreme Court vote against Donald Trump and administration with the 14th Amendment? Yeah, this is going to be an utter downfall for him and moving out of troubled waters. 10 of Swords, 8 of Swords. That was. I'm trying to be mindful and do a better job at because I watch. I'm still a novice when it comes to YouTube, so I want to make sure that I'm not just showing the cards, but also because sometimes people are doing whatever and not watching to say the cards out loud. So thank you for your patience. Okay. All right. People are looking at the big picture with the King of Wands, and I think this is the justices when I say people. The Moon card being crossed by this. Um, they're confused at this interpretation that the administration is giving for this. I think there's justices unified in this more than we think. I think this is not may not be such a close decision. Um in the past there was harmony on the court, mainly because there's mostly minus the three justices. They're mostly conservative court. There's some kind of power moment about this, and this will be a ending in the beginning of a new cycle with the World card. We had the Tower card before counting that league. There is some disagreements in regards to that with the Five of Swords. From the outside, you can see the administration trying to fight off these questions and negative feedback that they're kind of getting from the court. Their hopes and fears is that there will be that they feel like there's lack of wanting to do anything about this, and yeah, they're going to vote against the administration. And I get the 6 card at the outcome, so there possibly could be the 6-3 decision. Um, and I'm thinking that the three that will vote for with the administration would be Alito, Thomas, and possibly Kavanaugh. So TBD on that, right? I think it's not supposed to be until the summer because these are just opening arguments. Okay. Couple more questions till our general reading. Moving away from government, I want to take a look at the economical forecast of for the rest of the spring. Since we said this, since it was Spirit saying that the war is supposed to end in by the end of this month. Let's see the rest of spring. So we're going looking out. Summer starts in June. Let's see if what's the financial environment in the U.S. How will that pan out for the rest of the spring? Will it get better? Will it stay the same? Will it get worse? Oh God, let's not. Let's not. It's already bad enough, right? When we go to the grocery store, fill up our tanks, pay our bills. Oop. Yeah, there's much of people are worrying about the money factor with the 6 Pentacles here. Okay. There's a Knight of Cups. This is somebody maybe like here's an offer to help with things, but the Devil card's been crossing this. This offer is going to help try to restore control like things, so there might be some kind of financial thing that's going to happen that may help improve, but there's a lot of negative self thoughts going on right now out there. I mean, we all are having it or have moments or heard others talk negatively because they're struggling. Um, the Queen of Swords is in the past. Um, you know, creating clear boundaries on budgeting and things like that. Um, Three of Wands is crowning this reading. Obviously, the overseas things that are happening right now are the issues that are causing our financial struggles. I think there's going to be, with the Hangman, there's going to be a pause on what's happening, the worsening. And there's going to be new opportunities and beginnings with the Ace of Wands from the outside. This is definitely a crossroads going on with our economic situations. Everybody's, of course, hoping for a better turn of situations with the Wheel of Fortune. And there will be some breakthroughs by the end of the spring with the Ace of Swords. So, yes, things will get better. The these cards are not showing like an immediate back to to a better time, but there is going to be a start of some alleviating our current economic environment. So as I feel like I'm a broken record, but Spirit keeps on saying, reminding us all to hang in there because things are not going to be forever. And especially when it comes to this economic situation. Okay, before I do the general reading, I want to do something a little more on the lighter side and check in with the Artemis 2 mission to see if it will be successful. This is the mission that left. We have the Seven of Cups when I was talking about this. This is about searching for a purpose and whatnot. This is the mission going back to the moon that went up yesterday. They are just doing a flyby around. I think they're going around the moon and coming back. This is preparing for us to land back on the moon and eventually creating a moon base. So let's just see how if the mission will be deemed successful. Artemis 2 Spirit. Will Artemis 2 mission be successful? I know it kind of got buried with everything else that's been going on. Surprise, surprise. Um, King of Pentacles is this showing? This is showing. Part of this is this has been in the works, by the way. Any kind of moon mission or space mission, it's not something that's done overnight. So this has been years in the making. So this is showing our leadership in space and things like that. They want to bring that back. They, as in the government, wants to bring that back. It's crossed by the Star card. There's a lot of lack of faith and discouragement mainly because right now nobody really cares because we're trying to buy groceries and heal our car and have health insurance, right? Here's the Sun card in the foundation. There is some positivity. People love space, me including. I'm a geek about space. I love that we are exploring more about it. So there's that. In the past, there was a lot of challenges that they had to fend off, which is still is a struggle right now with the Seven of Wands. Again, Queen of Swords keeps on popping up today. That's another card that keeps on popping up. There's clear boundaries and clear communication of what they can or cannot do for obvious budgetary reasons. This is the card that popped out with the Seven of Cups. I think there's a lot of choices moving forward from this mission about what they can or cannot do further because of the financial situation that our government's going through right now. People are really looking for more moderation and not spending money on these missions at the moment. And in the end, it is going to be, even though it's hard work, it is going to pay off in regards to their mission that they're trying to do in regards to going back to the moon. So, for what it's worth, it is a successful thing. The future of it is kind of going to be in limbo because of funding. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to do an oracle card reading. I'm going to bring back this deck that it's been hot minute since I've done this deck. Oops. Ugh. This is by Rebecca Campwell, this Work Your Light Oracle deck. So that is the deck I am using. I'm going to start with a 3-card pull for the general audience, and then if I need to do some clarifiers, we will clarify away. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so. It'll help my channel out greatly, and you will know when my next weekly video comes out. I try to do it every Thursday. So with that, let's see what Spirit has for everyone. Okay, taking a break is the first card, which is life's work. It's life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. We can all relate to that. Starseed, taking a break and seeing what lights up for you. I love this artwork, by the way. You can see the back. Very springtime. And then the crumbling, what are you clinging on to? So this is already saying that we need to take a break from what the stressors that are present and looking at what are the things that help make us happy and taking those moments and release anything that's not serving us. Okay, let's go a little bit further. Okay, this is a common thing that during this time that we've been hearing, our soul family, surrounding ourselves with people that can lift us up, not bring us down. We're going through an awakening. We're going through an awakening right now. We are going through this massive change to get to that awakening. And then keepers of the earth. We're not alone. Our people from our past are here with us, helping us from the other side to get through this awakening, this big change we're going through. And I'm going to do one more further. The ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. That's an important message from Spirit, that remembering when it feels like it's happening to you, it's not. It's happening to us all in order for our benefit, for this awakening. Okay. Okay, Akasha, this is our way of divinely being guided. This is our purpose for coming down here during this time period. This is the divine plan. And again, reminding us, taking that break, that deep replenishment, make sure you make time for yourself. I know we all are busy, but whatever moment or a few seconds you can take, just even taking some deep breaths and closing your eyes and envisioning what lights up your life or the things you're grateful for will be super helpful. With that being said, thank you again. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. I appreciate it. Thank you all. Until next week. Bye-bye.